So you may have gone to a doctor's office recently and they gave you some paperwork to fill out for an advanced healthcare directive. Well, you might be thinking, what is that? Do I really need one? Is that the same thing as a power of attorney, or is it different? In this video, we're going to explain everything you need to know about advanced healthcare directives. Hi, this is Ellen Cookman. Welcome to my channel. In this channel, we're going to talk about how to help special needs families set up estate plans. Estate planning for special needs families is complex, and our goal is to make it as easy for you as possible. If this information is helpful to you, please subscribe and also hit the notification button so you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. My law firm has helped hundreds of families navigate the complex waters of setting up estate plans. So I'm excited to share all of my knowledge and experience with you. So let's get right into it. Once you turn 18, the great news is you get to make decisions on your own. The bad news is if you're sick and you're unconscious, you really can't speak for yourself. So you need to name somebody else to carry out your healthcare decisions. How do you do that? Through an advanced healthcare directive. Now, these used to be called durable powers of attorney for healthcare, but in California, they changed the name a while back. But you might see that name and it's the same thing. So this document, let me tell you what it does. Basically, it's useful for two main things. The first thing is you're naming your advocate. You're naming the person who's going to go to the hospital, speak to the doctors on your behalf, access your medical records, and really advocate for your healthcare wishes to be carried out. So that leads me to the second thing that it does is where you spell out your wishes for healthcare decisions if you're unconscious. Now, if you're conscious and you can communicate with the doctors yourself, this document is not to be used, right? I've had some clients who the only way they could communicate after a stroke was blinking. They didn't need the advanced healthcare directive in that situation because they could actually communicate by blinking. I know it sounds crazy, but some people have different ways of communicating, and that's okay. This is if you can't communicate at all. Then you want people to know what your wishes are and you want them to carry them out. And let me tell you, I think this is a really powerful way of accomplishing this, because let's say, God forbid, you're in a coma and your family members, they don't know what to do. They don't know what you want. Well, if they look at your advanced healthcare directive, that should spell out exactly what you want done if you're in a coma. Do you want to be kept alive with life-sustaining treatment like nutrition and hydration through a tube? Or do you want to say, let me go? Or do you want to say, keep me alive for 2-4 weeks, for 6 months, and then let me go? So all of this is spelled out in a healthcare directive. You can also say, if you want to be buried or cremated, if you have a burial plot already set up, if you're signed up with the Neptune Society or another agency that takes care of cremation. And then you should also talk about organ donation, if you're okay with donating your organs upon your death. Are there any parameters that you'd like to set? Like you're only okay with organ donations if it's for a transplant as opposed to education or research, or if it's for a transplant just to family members. There are some people who can't donate their organs because maybe they've had cancer before or they're on strong medications if they have mental health challenges. But these are things that you really want to spell out. And by the way, there is a healthcare directive for people with mental health challenges that goes through, if they're really not in a very good condition and maybe they're on a 5150 hold, you can fill out a separate healthcare directive just to spell out your wishes if you're in that situation. So where can you find an advanced healthcare directive? Well, like I mentioned, there's a lot of forms available at the hospital, which you can fill out. Now, you do need to sign it either in front of a notary or in front of 2 witnesses. This is under California law. Right? So make sure that it's properly executed so that it's enforceable. There are also forms available online. If you look up a statutory healthcare directive form in California, you should be able to find one. Now, as part of an estate plan, I always do healthcare directives as part of the whole package, because I can spell out more of what my client's wishes are. But let me say, remember I said that anyone over 18 or 18 and up should get a healthcare directive? If you have a kid who's about to go off to college, make sure that they fill out and sign before a notary a healthcare directive before they leave for college, so that once they're at college, if something horrible happens, you can take steps on their behalf for healthcare decisions. If this information is resonating with you, please hit the like button below. This helps YouTube push this information out to more families who might need this information. Now, some people will say, oh, an advanced healthcare directive, that's like do not resuscitate, right? Well, actually, it's very different. The idea with a healthcare directive is that you've already been in the hospital for some period of time, and people have the opportunity to look through this document, which could be 6, 8, 10 pages long. But what about that snapshot decision that an EMT needs to make if you've had a heart attack and you're on the floor and you need to be revived? That's the do not resuscitate issue. That is covered in a different way. Okay, that's covered in California with something called a POLST form. So here's an example of a POLST form. Okay, the first part covers that full do not resuscitate issue. And then the rest of it talks about healthcare decision making. And what you can just say is, see my advanced healthcare directive, because you don't want to put information that might not match the way that you've spelled it out in your more comprehensive healthcare directive. But this part up here, do not resuscitate or please resuscitate, that's really what you want to fill out. Now this hot pink form should be stuck up on your refrigerator or somewhere really obvious for the EMTs when they come into your home, or if somebody's in a nursing home, it can be at the foot of their bed. Most people actually want to be revived. If you're relatively healthy, you will want to be revived. But some people, like if they're at the end stages of dementia or they have COPD or some really difficult disease, then they might say, hey, next time I flatline, please just let me go. And that's what that DNR, the POLST form, is for, POLST. It stands for Physician-Ordered Life-Sustaining Treatment. And it must be signed by a doctor or by a physician assistant when you go in to visit the doctor. So we do not prepare those POLST forms, but we can refer you to your doctor who will help you with it. One thing I want to let you know about is a rule called HIPAA, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. So this is an act that was passed that basically protects your right to privacy for your medical records. Because of this, you actually have to waive your HIPAA rights to privacy in favor of your agent. So some healthcare directives have that language in there. Inexplicably, some healthcare directives don't. And so you need to do a separate HIPAA waiver. So make sure you look through your healthcare directive or you talk with your estate planning attorney to make sure that your HIPAA rights have been waived so that your agent can access your healthcare records. So in summary, everyone age 18 and older should have an advanced healthcare directive, also or formerly called a durable power of attorney for healthcare. Your attorney can help you set one up, or you can go online or get a form from your doctor's office to fill out. So just make sure that it has that HIPAA waiver language. And also, if you're concerned about the do not resuscitate issue, talk to your doctor about a POLST form, which is separate from the healthcare directive. If you have a loved one who is not able to sign an advanced healthcare directive because of their disability, they don't understand it, they're not able to sign, then you might need to get a conservatorship over your loved one. So please watch here on this video where I explain everything all about conservatorships.